Life Audio.
Jonnie, the week-long, technically, wait is over. Let's talk about that. I'm John. This is my colorful co-host, Johnny W.
It's great to be back.
Yeah.
I've been gone a long time. I've been gone a lot. I'm sorry. I feel like a bad friend.
Why?
I don't know. I'm doing all these shows and it's just a lot. This is the most I've ever toured, so.
Are you booking the shows so that you can intentionally not hang out with your friend?
No.
Well, then, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, it's just that thing of like I'm trying to be present and be available to people. But I know that like you can't call me to be like, hey dude, my water heater's leaking. Like I'm not your guy for that. And if I was here, I would be your guy for that.
Oddly enough, you called me about that.
I said, I really did. I really did.
Exact scenario happened.
Yeah, it's true. John went over and rescued me. My water heater exploded. The expansion tank.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was the weirdest thing ever.
There's
an old episode where we detail it, but it basically sprayed tons of water into a bucket in my garage, but there was no evidence of anything else happening. And I was like, I don't know how to retrace what happened here.
The magic stream.
But you knew a plumber, and you went over and waited with it, but then you got a plumber over there that you knew, and he got me all squared away.
He's at my house right now.
Charged me $1 million.
Yeah.
Emergency plumbers. No, he was actually very fair.
Yeah.
They say plumbers, I was reading a story about like AI taking all of our jobs, but it was talking about plumbers and electricians are always going to be like necessary skilled labor in the future economy. So it's a good place. If you're going to go into the trades, like we're going to need infrastructure no matter what.
You got to wonder if they can create, a robot that has, and you've seen them where they have
that shows up
that basically their fingers actually contract and move like real fingers with thumbs and stuff. So could it do the repair on a porcelain bowl or whatever, like without breaking it? I don't know.
If a robot comes to fix your toilet, yeah.
It's funny. So we're looking
They can't empathize. Robots don't go to the bathroom.
No.
How can they?
Yeah, maybe they should make them. Maybe they should add to the robot. Of course, that was kind of the whole principle of the movie, or the premise of the movie, Bicentennial Man, right? He continued to become more and more human.
Yeah.
To feel the human experience.
Right.
But the main human experience that he had never felt that must be experienced in order to be human is?
Love.
Well, yes.
I've never seen
Ultimately, you never saw it with Robin Williams?
No, I never saw it.
Are you kidding me? The movie guy.
You act like it's the one I have to see. It's like Shawshank Redemption to you.
It's death. He has to experience death. So he lives 200 years.
Oh, right.
And is in love with more than one person. I think he falls in love.
So he does fall in love
with the granddaughter, actually, because he keeps living. Eventually realizes I want to keep outliving everyone I love, and so
you're dragging the show.
They program him to die around the same time that she does.
Oh wow!
So he gets old, the whole deal, and gets to experience all of life, which includes death, but getting to die next to the one that he loves. So
now you've spoiled it.
Well, Johnny, I think it's almost been 200 years since the movie was released. So
it's sad. You bummed me out.
Sorry about that, guys.
The robot dies.
Well, intentionally.
He just shuts down.
No, they make him look old, and they do all these biomedical engineering things to him to make his body. He has like a body at some point.
I think that's what's happening to me. I think I've been programmed to start the old shutdown process. I had a good run. I'm very excited tonight. You're coming to the Opry to see me tonight.
I am.
Yeah, as we record.
I'm actually coming to see Charles Eston, but I heard you were going to be there, which is a great plus.
Charles Eston of The Office.
The Office.
Some people would say
from Nashville,
or his music.
Yeah.
Or he's been in a bunch of other things. But Whose Line? Whose Line Is It Anyway? He was a celebrated cast member on that. He's a very good improviser.
Charles Eston was on Whose Line?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's great. There's a bunch of old clips. You should look him up. He's a very good improviser. He's very funny. But anyway, yeah, he was the Stamford boss for the Stamford branch of The Office season whatever. I can't remember
his name. Hold on, Josh.
I
can't remember.
His arc wasn't very long in the show.
It covered a season or two.
Well, but he was in every show.
No, he's Charles Eston. He's got the Opry to do.
That's
true. What I'm saying? No, it's great.
It is interesting. Like I'm assuming that he knew how to play the guitar and sing before. I don't know his professional story, but he is on, when you're on a show like Nashville and you play this guy who's this country artist,
mm-hmm.
and then, but you're singing yourself. Like they hired people who could already sing and play.
Yeah.
Like Hayden Panettiere, who was known for Heroes, she sang
mm-hmm.
on the show.
They all sang.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then you kind of become famous for that. And I just wonder if that's like a dream come true for him, or if he's like, well, I'll just ride the wave that whatever. He's very multi-talented. He's a true Renaissance man.
My understanding is for those cast members that played the acting side and the music side, it was just like living two dreams together.
Yeah.
Because they could do either one at any moment. Again, he's going to the Opry tonight.
I really liked that show, especially like the first season or two.
Yeah.
And then it kind of felt like it got a little, I think they sold it to another network, like CMT bought it or something.
Yeah.
It kind of lost steam a little bit.
The worst thing that ever happened to a show, the first season was amazing, was a show called Designated Survivor.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest...
Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah. One of the greatest premises
right.
of a show. Okay. In like, again, I'm a big West Wing guy. I'm a big, like... In the West Wing, every year...
Sure.
Every season is a year,
mm-hmm.
right, of his administration. So it goes 8 seasons. Spoiler, he got reelected. But they did this first season, and they're beginning to try to figure out where the conspiracy happened that destroyed the whole government, and you see his development as a character and all the things. And then, like, the next season, they come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be like, a few months later, the next year. And it's like 4 years later or something. Like, they've left the whole crisis behind, and it's like now just a president show.
Oh, no.
Not a really good one, to be honest with you. And so then it got taken out of the main network, I think on NBC, and put onto either Peacock.
Tubi.
Yeah, put it on something. They put it off of network television onto streaming, and then they could just really ramp up a lot of things that wouldn't have a lot of language, a lot of sexual things.
Well, and then they add CGI things because they don't have the same budgets, and
it
becomes just cheesier.
It just was like, man, you guys had it. Just write better. Like, you had a great thing. Just keep going.
The big one right now is all those 911 shows, and Nashville got one, and I just keep hearing how awful it is. It's because it's just green screen. It's basically AI slop. That's what they say the internet's full of now, is just like AI slop. It's just generated from other pieces of other things and grab it, and here's your AI image. That now there's just shows that are just, they type some keywords in and they go, and now I'll put Rob Lowe in front of it.
Yeah.
They pay Rob Lowe all the money, and then he's in front of like a fireball coming at him, but he's like, oh no, and it's so bad. It's like Sharknado.
What's scary is...
Sharknado?
Super scary.
And that really happened. That's a true story.
Wow. Okay. What's scary is that you and I could do this, like with us and the internet right now. No, I'm saying like there's no difference between us and.
I don't know if we could phone it in more than we already are.
If we put two AI like clones talking on a podcast to each other, I wonder what they would say. If we fed like all 400 episodes.
That's true. We have enough content that we could create a personality.
What an experiment.
What would it say next? Because somebody told me that about comedy. Somebody asked me, like, how much material do you think you have? Because we were talking about could AI write jokes? And what they figured out is, now, of course, it's going to advance. Because now you're going to have super artificial intelligence. It's going to be like artificial super intelligence. It's going to be like one step above, then AI, then us. Basically, it's going to be the pecking order soon. But they were saying that as it is now, you need like 6 hours of material to let it have, and then it could start constructing jokes in your voice.
Wow.
And so we were thinking somebody like Tim Hawkins or, George Carlin. Like George Carlin, somebody did a George Carlin special that was AI. And it was really bad, but there were pieces of it where I was like, this sounds like a George Carlin joke. It's not great, but it's not way off. It feels like something he would have said.
I kind of recorded like, I won't say why. I recorded my own little version of like a Lectio 365.
Yeah.
Which is like a little devotion with like pads and other things behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it in my voice because, we record all the time.
What other voice would you do it in? Kermit the Frog?
Well, that's the thing.
Oh, you can choose?
I could go in and choose this really cool, calming, female voice that could do it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty dead on. Like, I mean, I was like, wow. And I even I was making it for a person. And I was like, hey, would you prefer to have my voice or would you prefer...
And they were like, first of all, no.
Yeah, well,
before
they
you
said
before you even give them the options, they're like, no.
So at any rate, it was scary though, because I thought, this is just starting. This is just beginning.
We're at the front end of the,
All right.
We're going to...
Johnny's mad at me because our clock is gone. So whatever that is, add 10 minutes to it.
You let your
How about that?
What does that mean? Add 10 minutes to...
That means it's going up and we've been on the air for 10 minutes.
We haven't been on the air for 10 minutes, have we?
Yeah.
Listener?
We haven't, but it feels like what? 9?
I don't know.
Minimum?
People are turned off. Thanks so much for listening if you are a dear listener. And John, how would you learn more about the show?
I have no idea. Could you tell me?
Talk about that podcast.
Gotcha.
.com and click on the upper right hand link if you want ad-free content. Thanks for supporting the show if you do that. Send us a message. We got a couple of messages this week. Hello. I talk about that, but we may read an email. Should we read an email today? I
think we should.
Pull it up. But first, let's take a minute and hear a word from a few of our fine sponsors.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We had one from our friend Bill Bryant.
Bill Bryant.
Yeah.
What a name.
Yeah. It's a great name.
It is. It's very masculine.
Yeah.
It's like...
well, I think you think of Paul Bryant.
Paul Bear Bryant.
Right. Bill Bear Bryant. It needs an animal name in the middle.
Wildcat. Bill Bryant.
Bill
the platypus.
Sasquatch Bryant. Anyway, Bill says, this is back from November 6th. Every podcast, your comments and musings bring to mind thoughts that bring a smile. Well, thanks, Bill.
That's very nice.
Today, I took the time to jot down notes about your November 6th podcast, Recliners. Sorry you're not able to enjoy the benefits of a good recliner, John. Rest assured, not all women are anti-lazy boy. My wife loves both our recliners and the sofa with reclining in sections that sounds similar to the piece that Johnny talked about.
So he's basically saying you should have shopped around. Not for a recliner, but for a better wife. Man, Bill, watch yourself.
Whew, there's that Sasquatch.
Driving a wedge.
Hair. Bald guys are everywhere around me. I'm 68, a year removed from 67, and have lots of mostly brown hair. Come on, Bill.
Of course he does.
I often feel out of place with a number of bare heads around me. Well, I mean, I feel worse about that too.
Yeah, that's...
okay.
So he's saying, I got a recliner and you don't. And then he's saying, nah, boo-boo, I got hair.
Yeah, I got hair, and look at all the weirdos around me that look like you. It hurts, Bill, but I receive it because I take admonition from people. And then he talks about NICE, we're working with refugees in the Nashville area. He says, your appeal reminded me of a 2017 movie called All Saints about an Episcopal church in Smyrna, Tennessee. It was scheduled to close until a group of refugees from Burma and Myanmar sought refuge in the community. It's a very well-done Christian movie, which is not often the case, and is one of my favorite flicks. Perhaps you've seen it. If not, check it out. That's great.
I will check it out.
Well, thank you, Bill.
Very nice.
And you know what? If you send us emails, there's always a chance it's going to get read on the air. We've called out birthdays before. Guys, we've done all kinds of stuff.
We're shameless is what we are.
Well, yeah. But,
I love, by the way, more and more people are seeing me at shows and saying they listen to the podcast in the wild. I'm being recognized places now because the videos are going viral, I guess. And so it's kind of an interesting experience. Those people are like, who are you? It's a weird thing too, because it happens all the time where they go, I know you. Yeah. And then I'll be like, well, I'm on...
God, no,
probably
because
I'm on. They go, no, that's not it. Do you shop at Kroger? I rang up your gum yesterday or whatever. But somebody saw me and they love the show and they want to know where you are. There's always people that want to know where you are. I had an experience yesterday or this past week. I was in Fort Wayne, and then the next day I was in like a Panera or something. And this lady goes, I know you. And I go, yeah. She goes, I watch your videos. And I go, oh, yeah, thanks. I go, yeah, I was here in Fort Wayne. I was doing a show. And she goes, oh, I missed it. I go, yeah, I'm going right up the road now. I'm doing Napoleon, Ohio. And she goes, oh, I love their ice cream. And John, I kind of laughed, but I thought, is she making a joke?
I think she was.
Or is she knows it's Neapolitan, right?
I don't know. See, I don't know. People make
I need to know.
This is like the amphibious ambidextrous thing.
If you're listening to the show, I need to know. Like, I almost stopped her. I need to know right now that you know that ice cream is not called Napoleon.
But see, she is a superior humorist here because she left you guessing.
You're right. I'm still thinking about it.
Like, if she would do what you do and charge money for that, imagine.
I had another interaction I wanted to share, and that was that somebody shook my hand. People shake my hand. I'm not one of these people that just does fist bumps because, listen, let's spread these germs around. Yeah. Let's get it going again. Yeah. Come on.
Those are good times.
But after the show, I love meeting people. But there's always the odd guy that shakes your hand really hard and looks right into your eye. You know, it's like, I don't know what that is. And he shook my hand so hard and for so long that it hurt my hand. Like, I thought he was joking at first. I thought he was just doing like a, let me see until you, I could not pull my hand away. I was trying to, and I go, you're hurting my hand, dude. I laughed, but I was also like, what are we doing? My hand is sore.
Did he let go when you said it?
He finally let go. He was, love the show.
Maybe he hated the show. This was his, like,
I don't know.
I'll not call it passive aggressive. It's aggressive to squeeze someone's hand. Let me
just say, like, I understand the whole, like, you need a firm handshake and look somebody in the eye when you talk to them, son, and all the stuff we tell boys when they're kids.
But maybe tell them less. What
are you trying to prove here?
Yeah.
God forbid he shakes like an old lady's hand.
Oh, maybe he thought he was shaking.
Dust.
Oh wait.
Maybe I just have hand sensitivity, but this guy hurt my hand.
Do you want some super glue?
Oh, because
would that help?
Super glue on the fingertips?
Someone made fun of my hands, if you remember. It's like everything comes back, doesn't it? It's almost like there's a reaping and a sowing. Well, you can't just tell.
You can't just say super glue without explaining that John puts super glue on his fingertips because his precious fingertips.
Guys, can I tell you one thing about you, our audience, for a second?
Yeah.
So we get some metrics from our podcast network, lifeaudio.com. They're great. And Life Audio always tells us that we have one of the highest listen through.
Like retention.
Yeah. Like our fans, we don't have the most downloads or anything like that, which guys,
we don't have top 5. We don't have.
But the people who do listen generally listen to like 95% of it. They go all the way through to the end.
And I just want to say to you people, get a life.
What are you doing? We don't even go night. AI is finishing the second half.
Go hug your kids.
No, we appreciate you doing it.
No, you're
Stick
the best.
with us, no matter what stupid things we say. That's a good relationship. John's about that time, I think.
Okay, all right.
It's my quote of the week. We call it, they talked about that. I went into the gravel.
One of us was real bitchy.
I tried to. Jonnie, you and I were talking beforehand.
Yeah.
And I know I return to Clive Staples a lot, but
Clive Staples Lewis.
But I think that it's good. There's no, and this is kind of a long one, but I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
Quote unquote niceness. Okay.
Yeah.
Niceness, wholesome, integrated personality is an excellent thing. We must try by every medical, educational, economic, and political means in our power to produce a world where as many people as possible grow up, quote, nice. Just as we must try to produce a world where all have plenty to eat. But we must not suppose that even if we succeeded in making everyone nice, we should have saved their souls. A world of nice people, content in their own niceness, looking no further, turned away from God, would be just as desperately in need of salvation as a miserable world, and might even be more difficult to save. For mere improvement is not redemption, though redemption always improves people, even here and now, and will, in the end, improve them to a degree we cannot yet imagine. God became man to turn creatures into sons, not simply to produce better men of the old kind, but to produce a new kind of man. It is not like teaching a horse to jump better and better, but like turning a horse into a winged creature. Of course, once it has got its wings, it will soar over fences which could never have been jumped and thus beat the natural horse at its own game. But there may be a period while the wings are just beginning to grow when it cannot do so. And at that stage, the lumps on the shoulders, no one could tell by looking at them that they are going to be wings, may even give it an awkward appearance.
Huh. I'm aware of that quote.
It's mere Christianity.
It's a good one.
Yeah, but like the idea of improvement versus, I think, transformation.
Right. Behavior modification versus like a real heart change, a real
I'll tell the church all the time,
change.
like, guys, if we're just here to like become better people, like, you know, better citizens, better whatever, like you can go join the YMCA or all kinds of civic organizations. The idea that church, and it should make us better, but I think he's pointing to the reason why. If it doesn't look awkward in the meantime, if it doesn't look like something the world doesn't recognize, then maybe we're trying to get better by the world's standards. There's another quote I read today that talked about, it's Thomas Merton talks about the idea of finding purpose by purely political means is like this crazy irrational obsession nowadays. And he's writing usually in the 60s. And like, I think that speaks to it, and we talk about it all the time, but I think it's worth returning to over and over again. If I find in the world a viewpoint or a tribe that outside of Christ, I mean, that may even claim Christ in places, but is not a religious organization or whatever. If I find in them something I wholly ascribe to, like that fully disaligns with everything exactly as I am, and I see it as the way to be in the world, even as a Christian in the world, then I think we have to beware, because Jesus was very clear that if you love me and follow me, you're going to suffer persecution for it. Mm-hmm. And that's an interesting word nowadays. I don't believe when someone disagrees with us that that's persecution. I think that that's actually probably democracy that you're experiencing, is when we disagree with one another and still have to live together. When someone in your family disagrees with you, that's not persecution.
That's Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, that was called that dinner. Yeah. But I think like coming to the place where I say, hey, I'm not just trying to get better by whatever standard I have in this world, but that I want to be transformed. And I wish I had a better word for it.
Yeah, there's a great meme. There's some account that I follow, and it's a religious account, but it was basically, it talked about, it was an image of sanctification, and it was a guy, they had filmed at a mall, and he's falling down an up escalator.
Yeah.
So he can't quite get to the bottom. It keeps pulling him. Mm-hmm. Then he tries to stand and he falls again, but it keeps pulling him. So I think about that all the time. Like, something's pulling me, but if I go under my own strength, I'm just falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
But something's pulling me, but it's not my strength.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm going where I need to be. I'm going to get where I need to be.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stumbles along the way. You know?
I thought about writing a book just called Tensions, and like picking out what I think like the 6 or 7 most like integral to life tensions in faith, especially in relationships, really are. And I think number one for me is the tension between the work that God is doing in me, towards me, versus the work that God requires from me.
Right.
And it goes to that because, again, we used that Chesterton quote before. This was Dallas Willard, that, you know, God is not opposed to effort. He's just opposed to earning.
Yeah.
And like between there, the person on the escalator still has something to do. But it can be a crushing thing within Christianity itself to take the thing that God has given you to do and misinterpret it as the necessity for your own salvation or sanctification.
Right. Instead
of it being, you know, one little piece of a puzzle that is your job to do, but that the puzzle itself has a million other pieces that God is doing. He does want you to show up and participate in your own sanctification, but not to own it or feel the responsibility for it. We're using a very biblical term there, for your own growth in Christ towards something higher than just human nature.
Yeah, I spoke at a church on Sunday, and I told the story about the man who was on his bed, and the people couldn't get him through the crowd, and so they tore a hole in the roof and lowered him down. And I was like, I've been different characters in that story, and I didn't realize it when I first heard it, but I've been the religious law keepers who were gathered around Jesus, thinking they were prideful. It says they're prideful in the story, the proud religious law keepers. They were literally inhibiting the person who needed help.
Mm-hmm.
So by standing around and doing nothing but thinking that you've arrived, you're inhibiting people that really need. And I said, then somebody showed me my need for grace, and then they cut a hole in the roof for me and they lowered me down. I said, most of us, there are people who need to reach up to Jesus. They're low, and Jesus sees them. But the great majority of people in the world have to be lowered down to Jesus because we have to humble ourselves. You have to admit you need a Savior.
Wow.
And so you have to be, somebody has to tell you you're a fallen person. They have to tear a hole in the roof for you, and you have to be lowered down. And so, like, I just feel like I've been every character in that story. You know? It's like, it's cool when you look at a Bible story like that, and you can see, like, oh, I used to think I was this guy, and I was really this guy. You know?
Wow, that's really, really good. You should come speak that here. I'll give you a Sunday morning.
They can just get the podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
You're right.
You know who I've been in the story before? The shingle.
Have you?
I think I'm the thing that needs to be cut away so that you could be lowered down.
I really did think about, like, that story could be a whole thing because that homeowner, his house was
had a hole in his roof.
So, like, there's different characters in that story that, like, it's great that somebody was healed and now there's damage. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff. There's layers to that story. They're interesting. Maybe they just patched through. I don't know. But it's just funny to think about, like, sometimes if somebody's going to get to Jesus, you have to have your life disrupted. And some people don't want their life I don't want my roof torn up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no. And that's when that sort of thing enters the equation, especially like in the early chapters of Acts, right, where they're sharing and willing to lose for the good of someone else. And, you know, that's the whole Ananias Sapphira story, like, you know, the tension of holding and what is yours, right, that you own, and then how the gospel comes and disrupts it and causes it. Even if you want a change, you got to walk out what it feels like, right, to make that change, to have something like your roof disrupted or have your money given away, though you knew it was the right thing. But he didn't just, like, restore it. Like, now you're rich again. Like, it means, like, no, you don't have it now. Like,
it's interesting. Like, Jesus casts demons into pigs and they all throw themselves off a cliff. Somebody owned those pigs.
Yeah, there's a lot of pigs. Yeah.
It's a wild thing.
Yeah, he just destroyed a whole pig farmers, you know. Well, I wrote a book. My first book I ever wrote, I would write what I thought happened maybe. Again, it was supposed to be fiction, but
this would be a good children's book.
Between all those stories, like, you think, like, there was one where the lady who came, I wrote about the widow who gave the 2 mites, you know, and in my story, because Jesus, we know they had a collection that Judas stole from, right? And in my story, he sent a couple disciples home where she was and gave her some money and other things. Like he gave to the poor, basically, you know, and didn't just, you know, leave that. So, I mean, I always wonder, what did Jesus send someone to the pig farmer to say, hey, or did Jesus resurrect the pigs and we don't have, you know, who knows?
I'm telling you, this needs to be a children's book.
The resurrection
John
pigs.
Driver, When Pigs Fly.
That's perfect.
There's a dark middle where the pigs become demon possessed and then they jump off a cliff. But you got to go to that. You got to keep going to chapter 3.
Let me tell you something. You've never seen. Kids love the whole demon possession thing. A good exorcism is great for children's works.
We'll workshop it after the show.
Workshop it.
Let's do my segments, John. Let's start with Johnny's old jokes. We call it Joke About That. John, a guy walks into a bar, tells the bartender, if I show you a wild trick, will you give me a free drink? Bartender shrugs, sure, why not? Guy reaches into his pocket, pulls out a tiny rat. Then from the other pocket, pulls out a teeny tiny piano. The rat stretches, cracks his knuckles, starts playing the blues like a rodent Ray Charles. Stunned, the bartender pours him a free drink. After finishing it, the guy says, now, if I show you an even better trick, do I drink free all night? Buddy, if you can top that, you're drinking on me till closing. Bartender replies. Man pulls out the rat and piano again, then reaches into his coat, brings out a small bullfrog. The frog clears his throat, starts belting out soulful blues lyrics. The rat's playing, the frog's singing, the bar goes dead silent in awe. Suddenly, a man rushes up and said, I'll give you $10,000 for that frog. The guy says, nope, not for sale. $25,000. Nope. $50,000 cash. Deal. The bartender's jaw drops. Are you crazy? That frog was a gold mine. Why'd you sell him? The man smirks and says, relax. The frog can't sing. The rat's a ventriloquist. That was sent from our buddy Paul Joseph, who he came to my show in Chattanooga, and he's been following us forever. Grammy Award winner.
Wow.
I think he used to play with Mylan and Broken Heart, if you remember Mylan Lefebvre. I think he played with Mylan.
Wow.
And he's, I think, Atlanta area. And he sent me that joke on it and said, hey, this would be a good one for a joke about that.
That's
he was
great.
right. It's a good joke. I'd never heard that one.
Did you know, by the way, did I send you the reel about the French singer who can sing 2 notes at once?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she knew how to control her voice where, like, this almost, this whistle came out, and she could change tones and notes over the top of her other vocal note. It was nuts. It was nuts. So
yeah, how do you figure out you can do something like that? I think I could do 2 notes, but one would be really bad.
Yeah.
Call that a sinus infection. John, my wife and I have been married for 40 years. People ask me, what's your secret? I say, it's very simple. We have a ritual, and we never deviate from it. Once a week, every week, we go out for a romantic dinner, wine, candles, violins, the whole lot. I go Tuesday, she goes Thursday. I think that's a Henny Youngman joke. It did not give credit to Henny, but I think that's Henny Youngman. John, let's do This Week in History. We call it Talk About Then. John, this week, Marvin Pipkin was born. He was the inventor of the frosted light bulb. And he makes the list because, as a practical joke in 1925, new employees at General Electric's National Electric Lamp were assigned the task of making a practical light bulb frosted on the inside. I'm assuming this is to diffuse the light so it's not so stark. It was believed impossible to do, so it was almost a joke. Here's a project for you. Until new employee Marvin Pipkin was assigned to this task. He did not know it couldn't be done, so he did it.
Guys, come on now.
Won't that?
It does. It did. Marvin did it.
Marvin Pipkin did it and gets no credit. I mean, when it's the first time you've ever heard his name.
It's true. And I have frosted light bulbs everywhere. Sorry, Marvin.
The thing about these LEDs, I don't want to be the anti-LED guy, but they came out and they were like, these last 30 years. And they don't last 30 years, first of all.
That's a lie.
And second of all, how do you know it lasts 30 years? You didn't have 30 years to try it out.
Come on.
Like, by our metrics and what we think the heat distribution of the blee, blee, blee. They don't.
Yeah.
The bulb itself might, but the little ballast that makes it fire, that's what goes out on these, whatever that's called. I don't know what they're called. It's not a ballast, but some kind of starter. And it basically, those fail. And so they go, well, the bulb would have lasted 30 years. That's a part of the bulb. It's the thing that makes it glow.
Yeah.
You goof.
Yeah. It's the same people that make vitamins. They're like, they take these. Like, do they work? I'm like, I don't know. I'll find out if I don't die. Yeah. How do you really know?
You get credit. Like they go, well, I've been taking all these vitamins. You go, yeah, but you could just have good genetics.
Yeah. Or again, what if you die at 50? You're like, well, those didn't work. There's no metric to measure it. You know what, Marvin? Keep your vitamins. Oh, sorry.
That's a different thing.
My bad.
Frosted vitamins. Now that sounds good.
That sounds delicious.
I can do that. Make them go down easier. Let's go. John Ignacy Paderewski was born this week, 1860. He was the first prime minister of Poland, and he makes the list because he was a Polish pianist, composer, statesman. He was the first prime minister, 1919 through 1920, of the newly independent Poland. This is after World War
1919?
1919
and born 1860?
Born 1860 this week.
So he was almost 60. Okay.
He was up there, but
69.
He resigned after 10 months, John. Do you want to know why? To resume his concert career.
Wow.
So he's like, I'm just going back to playing the piano.
Done that.
I'm going back to playing the piano.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, this is, I guess politics in the early 1910s, that's late 1910s, that's a volatile time.
Yeah, the war just ended.
Right. They're like, you're our first prime minister. And he's like, piano's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
This is lame.
Yeah.
And I can see that.
That's the reason I didn't become prime minister.
Is it?
I just wanted to keep playing,
John, this week, 1863, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln delivered his famous Gettysburg address. Do you want to try and quote some of it that you know?
77 years ago,
yes.
Our forefathers...
It's actually just our fathers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Our fathers brought forth on this continent?
Yes. A new nation.
A new nation conceived in liberty, and I'm done.
Dedicated to the proposition that
all men are created equal.
Yeah. This is why it makes the list. The speech was given during the American Civil War at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery, now known as Gettysburg National Cemetery. I did not know that he was dedicating a cemetery.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and the last part is, although now considered one of American history's greatest speeches, Lincoln's detractors were critical of it, with the Chicago Times deriding it, quote, "The cheeks of every American must tingle with shame as he reads the silly, flat, and dishwatery utterances."
Wow.
I mean, you can't please.
Yeah.
That's wild, right? We've talked about this, that movies that bomb and then they go on to be like, we consider them untouchable classics. I just watched a video about The Shawshank Redemption, about how hard it was to get made, and they wanted all these other people involved, and they offered Frank Darabont, who adapted the screenplay, they offered something like $19 million to get someone other than him to do it. And he didn't take the money because he had like a position in it to get part of the gross. And he said, no, this has been my dream. This is my favorite adapted Stephen King. I want to do this. And so they let him go forward. They gave him like a $25 million budget. And the movie did not do well at the box office. It only did well when it got nominated for like all these Oscars that it did not win. It did not win Oscars. It got nominated for 7 different ones. And then it had a resurgence at the theater for a minute. And then it came out on video, and it did okay on video. Then TNT picked it up because they got it for pennies on the dollar. Mm-hmm. They started showing it once a day, every day or whatever. Yeah. And people fell in love with the movie. Isn't that crazy? And it's considered one of the greatest movies of all time. Yeah. But you just assume that, well, in its time it was considered that. But no, that's not always true.
Interesting. And by the way, about the Gettysburg Address, Lincoln himself opened up by saying something to the effect of, years later, no one's ever going to remember these few words. It was his shortest speech, I think, ever. Yeah. No one's ever going to remember what was said here today.
So he was, yeah.
And like
and
that
Chicago was like, I heard that.
Well, and I wonder if those are like, if that was a Copperhead publication. Because you had infighting within the Republican
said
Party.
detractors.
Yeah,
so it definitely was people who were
if
like looking
Chicago,
for a
no
reason.
doubt, he's not. They're not Southerners. They're not Democrats. They're probably Copperhead Republicans who there was this infighting within the party. So anyway,
well, you can't please everybody.
No,
that's the thing.
Can't please anybody sometimes.
God, grave Chicago Times. Whatever happened to those people?
Yeah,
John. This week, 1955. Elvis Presley signed with RCA Victor for $40,000, which is $460,000 in 2023 dollars. This is when this was published. The high amount paid prompted a Columbia executive to comment, quote, "No singer is worth that much." Elvis Presley. Again, that's the fun thing about history is you can look back and be like, yeah, they were.
What are we doing right now, though? See, we're again.
What are we overvaluing? Right, what are we undervaluing?
We're undervaluing something right now. Listen. I'm writing something right now.
Mm-hmm. And you feel like it's being undervalued?
Well, I feel like I got turned down by most every publisher there was. Uh-huh. And then I found a university press.
You got your Rocky Balboa story in your head going on. Are you jogging in the streets in your sweats?
I believe in it.
Yeah.
And it's really challenged me because I've carried it for like 15 years. Uh-huh. I really believe in it. And I've been told no. And then from my alma mater press, University of Tennessee Press, I heard no.
Oh boy.
And then 2 days later, what never happened. I got wait, hold on. Can I retract that no?
Yes, sir.
We think we might want to do this. Now, unlike traditional publishers, university presses don't pay advances.
Yeah.
So this is like a scholarly
labor of love.
It's a scholarly credit, basically.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's worth. In fact, if anything, it's kind of energized me because it's like, okay, this is like I'm doing this because I believe in the story.
When you have scholars that believe in it too now, so they kind of blown some wind under your sails, under your beyond your
through. There's a hole in my sail.
And won't that preach?
Man, won't it though?
John, finally this week, November of 1916, the sister ship of the RMS Titanic and the RMS Olympic sunk after striking a mine during World War I. 1,035 of the 1,065 people on board were rescued from water in lifeboats. The Britannic was the largest ship lost during World War I. Okay, so the Britannic was the sister ship that was built around the same time, and her remains were located in 1975 by Jacques Cousteau and is the largest passenger ship on the sea floor. This is why it makes the list. One of the survivors, Violet Jessup, also survived the sinking of the Titanic.
Come on.
And had been aboard the Olympic when it collided with a British warship in 1911.
Come on.
Okay.
Don't get on a boat anymore, Violet.
Violet, I'm starting to think the problem is you.
Yeah, you don't want Jessup on your boat.
3 boats and one sinks and you make it out.
Right.
One collides with a British warship.
Yeah. One, guys, who's at the helm of these
And then
things?
this one strikes a mine.
Oh, my goodness.
And you're like, again with this?
Well,
She probably didn't even put down her tea. She was like, here we go. Call this Thursday.
follow me. I know where to go.
Violet's
And wait, they were all sister ships.
They were all sister ships.
So she kept getting...
I don't know how sister and brother ships work.
Well, I think they're the exact same size.
Yeah, they were similar size.
So, like, literally...
Built by the same people, maybe.
Yeah, like all those types of ships went down.
I would think
with her
she'd be
on
like, you know what? I'm going to do a smaller...
I feel like that there'd be like a sci-fi history.
She needed a sign of her of the, like, no Violet. Like, she's bad.
Yeah.
Like, no Violet. Like, when you walk into a gas station, there's a guy who bounced a check. They're like, don't accept money. That's probably an old thing. It's an old trope now. Nobody has
I can see some time travel sci-fi where, like, she goes back in time she's the villain to sink these ships.
What if she's involved?
And she keeps showing up on the ships.
What do we know about this Violet Jessup?
And then somewhere in the future, a podcaster figures it out. And then we build a time machine.
Could we be those?
That's us. And we go back to stop Violet and save the Titanic.
And then I make a bad joke like, more like Violet Jessup. John, I want to do one more because we can't end on a ship sinking. Because this week, 1877, a very important man was born. Virgil Brown. Do you know what Virgil Brown did? He invented something that you know of every day. The six-pack. He was an American bottler. 1923, he developed the six-pack beverage carton, which he developed for Coca-Cola. He got the idea after acquiring a Coca-Cola bottler operating in Oklahoma City the previous year. And he was also a pioneer in vending machines and parking meters.
Wow.
It's interesting, though, that it just like, it could have been 5, it could have been, I guess 6. It's a row of 2, 3. Maybe people, they're thinking like, okay, that's family of 3, 2 bottles each.
Right. 8's too heavy. Yeah. He probably had to figure out what the exact...
To figure out. But it became like, a six-pack is like in our language for everyone. That was 1923.
Yeah.
So we're 100 years beyond that invention. And you still say six-pack.
Right.
Of course, usually people mean abs now.
Right. Wonder what he would have thought about that.
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute.
Wait.
Hold on. Do I get residuals?
Guys, you're drinking this all wrong.
Yeah. If you're getting abs, you're not drinking Coca-Cola.
Right.
If you have a six-pack abs,
Don't
probably.
stick the bottle inside your
There probably
stomach.
There probably are people that have six-pack abs that drink Coca-Cola, but I've never met one.
No, I don't. I have met people who just have abs.
Right, just
because of genetics.
Yeah.
And it angers me.
They're just lean.
It angers me. Have you met a guy that had a beer belly that still had abs in it? That really angers me.
It's really weird.
It's like, okay, really now?
It's like those power lifter people, the world's strongest man. They're throwing pianos over buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
And they got a big gut, but it's solid.
See, my gut's not as solid as it is squishy.
People throw you over buildings as many times as they can in a minute, and it's I'm tired. They have to take a break.
Yeah, that guy was heavy.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, that's it for today.
That's it, guys. If you want to hear more about the show, where would you go, Johnny?
Johnny would go to Talk About That, Johnny. Talkabouthatpodcast.com. Over almost 400 episodes.
Yeah. We're
flirting with doing a live episode, but we haven't had enough. We haven't had enough feedback to really push us up because we're putting ourselves out there. It's a pretty big thing if we do that and nobody comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be a weird feeling.
And Johnny's really busy.
I need some reassurances that people would buy tickets. Not that we need the money, but we need butts and seats.
Right. And we don't want your money.
No. Maybe we'd make it free. You make a donation to a soup kitchen or something.
Yeah.
Nearby.
Or nice.
Or in your area.
Yeah.
Or just have a bowl of soup yourself.
Maybe
then come to the show.
Why do we have to cook your soup? That's the real question.
We'll make you soup if you please come to the live taping. Maybe we'll think about that because we're getting close, right? It's like 20 away, 5 away, 4 away.
We should know that, but
it'll be March maybe.
This will be episode. Wait for it.
Because March, it'd probably be like March is what I think I figured out one day.
This will be episode 383.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be spring of next year.
Yeah, we'll spring
of
into
2026.
Yeah.
So start making those travel plans.
Yeah, just for a random date that you haven't been given yet.
Save those air miles.
And yeah, you could do that.
We'll see you.
Just book every weekend in Nashville just in case.
Yeah.
And then,
And we'll see you there. Yeah. We'll get commemorative shirts.
Oh. We have to have some catchphrase or something from the show.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, we'll think about that.
Bantertown, that's what it's probably going to be.
I'm not going to say Bantertown.
What's wrong with Bantertown?
Get out of here with Bantertown.
Oh, we like Bantertown. That's the point.
Don't say we. I'm part of we, and I don't like it.
You were here when it was when it was invented.
When it was birthed.
Birthed.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for the time you gave us. It was a lot of fun. Go see Jonnie the show, man. He's out there and he's waiting for you at the table. We'll see you next week here on
Talk about that.